What do Highland Park, Chicanas Cholas y Chisme, and the Comedy Store all have in common? Find out as we interview Suzanne Linares from the stage. Today, we have the distinct honor and pleasure of interviewing one of my friends and a great artist. Not only is she an artist, she sits on the board here at CASA 0101. She has been a participant of Chicanas Cholas y Chisme for 10 years as a writer, as a producer, and a stage manager. She's also a stand-up comedian, and she's a painter. And her art pieces are on display in the gallery here at CASA 0101 at the Jean Deluage Gallery. So, without further ado, I present to you and introduce to some Suzanne Linares, the artist. So good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Dame un abrazo. Aquí siéntate. So I said in the intro, there's three things that all of them have one thing in common. Highland Park is where this artist was born and raised. Chicanas Cholas y Chisme is a women's theater festival that she has been a part of as a writer, producer, and stage manager for 10 years. And the Comedy Store is a place where she has done some stand-up comedy routines. And those three things all have one thing in common, one person in common, Suzanne Linares. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So good to see you.
Good to see you too.
And I know you're really busy right now because you're prepping for Chicanas Cholas y Chisme, the 11th season, right?
The 11th season.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. It's been quite a journey. Now, have you been with CCC from the first one, or when did you join?
I joined the second year.
Okay.
The second year.
As a writer?
As a writer, yeah.
And what was that first play?
The first play I ever wrote. Oh, that was a monologue that was told from the perspective of a premature baby.
Oh.
Which, me.
Oh.
So I wrote it. It was really easy to write, actually. I wrote it from the perspective of a premature baby, which I was. I was born at 26 weeks. So it was really easy for me to just, once I got started writing, it just all flowed out.
Yeah.
And that's generally how things work for me.
In your writing process?
In my writing process, yeah.
Okay.
I just start writing and whatever comes out, comes out.
Yeah.
And just have fun with it. And my most important thing is to just be myself.
Yes.
Be myself and be who I am.
And I've seen several of your plays.
Yeah.
And I've loved them all. They are hilarious. They are heartfelt. They are heart-touching. There's three that I could think of at the top of my head. The one where the girl is having sex and has an allergic reaction to the latex.
Yes. Yeah, that really did happen.
That was that. The other one that sticks out in my mind is one where Selena comes back.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's you and your best friend, I believe.
Oh yeah, that was called Beyond Sisters.
Yes. Yeah. And then the one, because the title was just so, a doctor drilled a
guy stuck his drill in me.
A guy stuck his drill in me.
Which you could take both ways.
Yes, and that title alone makes you want to see. Okay, what is this about?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was about when you had a surgery, right?
Right.
Yeah, and
brain surgery.
And I think your stories are just so genuine that they're genuine to the human experience, to your experience, and which is why I've always really enjoyed seeing them. And look, three of them just stick in my head, and like they're not easily forgotten because they're written very well.
Yeah.
And they are hilarious and they are heart touching too, especially the one about you and your best friend.
Oh yeah, that
what was that one
my
called?
Favorite. That one is called Beyond Sisters.
Yes.
And that is, what if you could talk to somebody one more time? So I wrote it because I wanted to tell the story of Banafina, who was my best friend. We had met when we were 12 years old, and we were friends until the day she died, when she was 27.
Wow.
So like, okay, what if I could have one more conversation with her? What would that be like? And boom, Beyond Sisters was born.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
How many plays have you written
I don't know, dude.
that you've presented?
What's it been now? 10?
10?
15? Something like that?
10 or 15? Wow. That
I
is,
lost count now.
that's a big, a nice big chunk of work,
Yeah,
Suzanne.
it is.
Have you ever thought of maybe putting them all together and publishing them?
I have.
Yeah?
But to find the time to do it.
Well, we always have to make the time.
Yeah, we do.
And I hope you do, because I think people should read these plays, and other people, other young mujeres, other young Latinos,
Yeah.
Chicanos need to see that our gente does do work.
Yeah.
And we do write great stories, and we do write
do.
great plays.
Yeah.
And you're an example of that. So I
Yeah,
hope you
thank
really
you.
look into that and you really do it.
I hope.
Yeah.
One of these days, you
One
know?
of these days. Yeah.
One of these days.
So the other thing that I want to talk about is, but before we do that, I'd like to ask everyone to please subscribe, hit the subscribe button.
Beep.
Yeah. And like and comment and leave a comment for myself, for Suzanne, and yeah, so that we could keep this content page going. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is your stand-up comedy.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen you do stand-up comedy, girl. You are hilarious.
Thank you.
Yeah. So and tell me, how did that happen?
Well, I took a class by the great Rudy Moreno, and he really taught me how to get things going. And then once he taught me the basics, you know me, dude, I was off and running. And with each different performance that I do, then no two are the same. Same thing with my writing. No two are the same. With my comedy, it all comes from me. It's something that I've been through or whatever, and I just go from there. Take what happened to me and make them laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite part, actually, making them laugh. Hearing the laughter back at
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
I really love how in your stand-up, you're basically talking about yourself, things that if it would happen to me, I would find them very embarrassing. But you take them and you're like, hey, this happened to me. Look at how hilarious it is. And, you know, I remember turning to someone when you did a stand-up routine here. And my friend who I was with, I was like, you know what? Suddenly I feel like maybe I shouldn't take life so seriously.
Yeah.
And maybe I should just laugh at myself sometimes and not be so worried as to what just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to be embarrassed. And you really, really did that for me. So thank you through your comedy.
You're welcome.
How did you end up showing at the Comedy Store?
Oh, at the Comedy Store. That was so fun. One of the talent people, they saw me and they approached me and said, hey, you want to come do the Comedy Store? I'm like, sure.
Yeah. You say it so nonchalantly, but you know that doesn't happen to everybody, right? And it happened to you. That's amazing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I can't believe that I stood on the same stage as Marilyn Martinez, which was one of the world's greatest comedians ever. She passed away a few years before that.
Was she an inspiration to you?
Yes. Yes, I saw her on Latina Queens of Comedy or something. Yeah, and
Marilyn Martinez?
Marilyn Martinez.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's one of your inspirations as a comedian.
Yes.
Yeah. As a writer, who's one of your inspirations?
That's a good question.
Or do you have a few?
Yeah. I love Sandra Cisneros.
Okay.
I read a lot of older stuff, like
Okay.
Sandra Cisneros is definitely one of them. Just I pretty much read whatever I can get my hands
Okay.
on.
And is there a playwright maybe that is very inspirational to you?
No,
No?
I read everybody.
You read everybody.
I read
That's-
everybody and take what I need to from everybody.
That's great. That gives you a very well-rounded perspective.
Yes, very well rounded.
Great. So,
Yeah.
March 16th, your second gallery showing is going to
Yes,
open here
I'm
at
so
Casa
ex-
0101
I'm
in
so
the
excited.
Jean Deliage Gallery.
Uh-huh.
And how many pieces are being put up? Do you know?
What is it, 10, 12, 15? One of those.
Yeah. And last year, it was the first time you had your gallery
Last
showing,
year,
right?
Yeah,
So now this is your second art gallery showing.
yeah.
So,
It's
I, I love, and this is why I said we have to interview Suzanne, because you are, for me as an artist,
Yeah.
you inspire me because
Oh,
of
thank
all
you.
the work that you do. Like,
Oh, thank you.
mujer no le paras.
Oh, I don't.
And I love that because, it's like, well, Suzanne's doing it, then I can do it too. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And that's what this content channel is to let people know, look, other people are doing it, and that means you can do it too. It's
Right,
not rocket
right.
science.
No, it's
You know,
not.
as an artist, we, yes, we develop our craft, we take time to practice, to rehearse, to become better, but that's what art is, right? You
Right.
write more so that you become better. You practice your comedy routines more so
Yeah.
that you can come up with more routines and do them better.
Yeah,
And you paint more so that
Yeah.
you become a better painter.
yeah.
And you've done all of that. You've written plays. You've produced one of the most renowned women Latina Chicana theater festivals,
Yeah.
Chicanas Cholas y Chisme. You have stood on the stage at the Comedy Store, and you're a painter.
Yeah,
And all of those things, it's the mind of an artist. I always say, I believe that artists, we have this unique ability to look and find art and beauty in everything, right?
right.
And you've been able to do that. And one of the things is your paintings. And I told you last year, I don't know if you remember, that there was one particular painting I was going to buy it, but somebody beat me to it.
They did. Oh my
And
God.
I told you this, I love this because the way the paint is dripping, it looks like the canvas is crying.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you told me the story behind it, and it was a very sad moment for you when you were doing that painting. And I
Yeah.
see your paintings out in the gallery, and again, it's like you're writing.
Yeah.
It's like I feel Suzanne
Oh,
in
thank
everything
you.
that's in the gallery.
thank you.
And you pointed this particular painting out,
Yeah,
that this is your favorite one in the gallery.
it is.
Why is that?
The way it starts at the bottom
Mm-hmm.
and the colors just flow up.
Mm.
Up to the sky, up to the heaven, up to whatever you want to call it. And it just goes up to the world.
Yeah. When you say it that way, you can see that it's like,
Yeah.
it's not, in this painting, it's not constrained just to these four
No.
sides. It wants to keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so when you paint something like this, because I'm not a painter, I can sketch and I can draw, but painting, it's an art form that I've never
Oh,
really.
try it.
I
It's a
should.
lot of
Everyone
fun.
says that it's very,
Try it.
it's very unique. But when I look at this,
Yeah.
this stands out right here. And
Down there in the middle.
right here, the little red.
Oh, yeah.
And when I stand back, it almost to me looks like it's Little Red Riding Hood looking through the forest.
Huh. That's an interesting.
It looks like someone is walking through a forest, and like a forest of a lot of turmoil, you know,
Yeah.
but that they're walking through it. And
Wow.
when I saw that out there, I always look at a painting. I'm like, oh, what do I see in it?
Yeah.
And it might not even be something you intended, but that's the great thing about art, right?
Yeah,
Is we interpret
every-
it how we see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I love about art, is that everyone brings in their own stuff and takes away what they want from it,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What?
But I never would have seen.
But you see it now. It looks
I
like
do
the
now.
Red Riding Hood or someone's coming
Little Red
through.
Riding Hood,
Yeah.
yeah. Now, whenever I look at it, I'm gonna be all, oh, that's Little Red Riding Hood. Shit.
Yeah. So these paintings are all for sale, right, on the
Right,
gallery?
right.
And the great thing about it is you tell me that all the proceeds go to CASA 0101.
Right.
Wow.
All the proceeds.
Yeah, so come to the art gallery opening on March 16th. Get yourself some beautiful art and help out this wonderful place that we all call our CASA 0101.
Yeah.
So you're on the board at CASA.
I am.
How did that happen, Suzanne?
Josefina invited me.
Okay. Yeah.
Josefina invited me.
That is wonderful. I think
Yeah.
it really shows, well, Josefina, she's all our mama,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And one thing I've always really loved and appreciated about Josefina is that she's always looking to give opportunity.
She is.
Yes. And in her inviting you to be part of the board, she gave you an opportunity to give back.
Yes.
And she gave you an opportunity that many other places probably wouldn't even consider. But she
Right.
did. And I think that CASA is a better place because of an artist like you can sit on a board and also make sure that the vision of the theater is carried out.
Right, right.
So that's a wonderful thing. How long have you been on the board?
2 years?
2 years? Oh, wonderful.
Maybe.
So, we talked about all these great things that you've accomplished, and what have been some of the challenges of getting there, Suzanne? Like, what are some of the challenges of being a painter, of being a writer?
Oh. For me, it's that sometimes I have so many ideas all at once. And so to prioritize which one goes, okay, you go next, you go next, you go next. Figuring out what I'm going to do next, that's always on the back of my mind.
Yeah.
What am I going to do next?
Okay.
That's my big question to myself. Okay, after I finish something especially. Okay, what's next?
Do you find yourself thinking about what's next while you're doing a painting and almost finished with it?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think, like this one, I'm actually thinking of making it into like a bigger piece. Like. But then I look at something like this and I'm like, holy shit, how did I get this started? I don't remember how it started. I just know that that's what it came to be.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a trip.
Yeah. And what have been some challenges in your writing?
Getting all the ideas out at once. Making sure that it's a complete thought. Because sometimes you get little fragments here and there, and then you have to turn it all into one big thing. Because that's how it is sometimes. You get little pieces here, little pieces there, and then turn it into one big salad, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you've written about 10, 15 plays that have been produced. And what I want to know is, when is Suzanne Linares gonna write not just a 10-minute play, not just a 15-minute piece, but when are we gonna get the experience to see one of your full-length productions?
I've been working on that shit for 10 years, dude. And I get little pieces here, little pieces there. Like I know how I want it to start now, and I know how I want it to end. So now I'm working on the stuff in the middle.
Okay. So you are working on a full length.
It's in my head still. It hasn't made it out to paper yet. But at least the idea is percolating in my head.
So it's coming.
It's coming. Who knows when? I couldn't tell you when. But it's on its way.
I'm excited.
It's on its way because I think I'm to the point now where I have enough material where I can make a full length.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my brain doesn't really work in full length. It's more short little pieces. So it's getting all the little 10-minuters and making them into one big one. I don't know how. I don't know where.
How are you gonna weave it all together?
How I'm gonna weave it all together, but it'll come out of me eventually. I just don't know when.
Yeah. And I want to be there when it happens.
You will
I want to
be.
see it.
You will be.
Suzanne, how can people see more of your artwork, learn more about you? You said you have an Instagram?
I do have an Instagram. It's my first name and my last name. Suzanne, Suzanne, Linares, Linares. Instagram, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you also have a Facebook?
I do have a Facebook.
Yeah.
Same thing. Suzanne Linares.
Yeah. And we'll put that in the bio for this.
Okay.
What's your favorite food?
Pupusas.
What's your favorite drink?
Mojito.
Okay. Who's the hottest actor you think?
Channing Tatum.
Oof. Yes, girl. We'll fight over that one. Who's your favorite singer?
Mariah Carey.
What's your favorite song?
Butterfly.
What's your favorite color?
Yellow.
What's your favorite season?
Ooh, spring. That was a tough one. Spring.
What's your favorite play?
That I wrote or
Just a play that you've seen, that you've read.
Two Men Need a Camp. Two Men Need a Camp.
What's your favorite movie?
You've Got Mail.
That's a cute one.
That's a cute one.
And what was the last play you saw?
Oh, I just saw Lion King.
Oh, at the Pantages?
Yeah, at the Pantages.
Oh, that's one.
Yeah,
That's an amazing one.
I took my niece to see it. She was like, wow.
Yeah, your niece loves musicals, huh?
She does.
I remember you brought her here for Beauty and the Beast, and yeah, she really enjoyed it. Well, we just got to know you a little bit better.
I thank you for having me. It was so fun.
What's one interesting thing about you that not too many people know?
I like to cook.
Yeah?
I do like to cook.
And what are you good at cooking?
Italian.
Yeah?
Or baking.
Yeah? When are you gonna bake me something, girl?
Yeah. I was actually thinking of making a cake one of these days, but who knows when it's gonna happen.
Yeah. Well, when you make a cake, save me a slice.
I will.
All right. So it's been a pleasure talking to you, Suzanne.
It's been so fun.
You are a artist in every sense of the word. Your art inspires people. It inspires me.
Oh,
Thank you. Thank you for putting your work out there so that puts us in very vulnerable spaces, right? Because we're putting part of ourselves out there.
Yeah.
But thank you for doing it time and again through your paintings, through your comedy, through your writing, because
My pleasure.
it encourages other people to do it.
Yeah.
And you've written 15 plays. Some people spend their whole life wanting to and never even write one.
Wow.
Some people spend their whole time like, oh, I wish I want to paint something and never do. Some people are like, oh, I would love to be a comedian, but they never jump in and do it. You've done it.
I've done it. Yeah.
Sí se puede.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you've really taken that and you've ran with that. And thank you so much. Thank you for all the work that you do. And thank you for being you.
Thank you.
And one last thing I want to say, Suzanne, the thing that I really appreciate about you is you always speak your mind, girl.
I do.
Before we started, you said, is this the rated R version or the PG-13 version?
Yeah,
and I told you go ahead and talk however, because that's what we love about you.
Now, my latest exhibit I didn't tell you about.
Tell me.
You know what it's called? Paint Like a Motherfucker.
Okay.
Paint like a motherfucker.
Paint like a motherfucker.
Oh, yeah.
But yes, paint like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
That
actually came because my mom took me to San Francisco MoMA many moons ago. And I said, oh, I could do that. And she says, okay, and I'll buy you the paints and you can do it. And here we are.
2 gallery showings later.
2 gallery showings later. Yeah.
Because you just painted and painted and painted.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just did it. Yeah. Thank you again so much, Suzanne.
Thank you.
And thank you everyone for watching from the stage. And join us next time from the stage, where we bring you more music, where we bring you more theater, where we bring you more art from the stage.